Hello everyone, welcome to One Stop Guide to Open Source. First of all, congratulations to all the teams and participants who are going to take part in this amazing hackathon HackJaipur. I am pretty much sure that you all will learn a lot in this hackathon. I wish you all a very best and we are here to help you if you need any help. So talking about today's session, the session on GitHub and open source, here we will take a quick look at GitHub, what is GitHub, and then moving ahead we will understand everything about open source, that what is open source, why open source, who should do open source and everything. Okay, so before getting started, a little about me. I'm Saumya Singh, speaker for today's session. Yes, these are some of the organizations for which I have worked. I have contributed to their projects as an open source enthusiast. And yes, now comes Git. What is Git? The theoretical definition says Git is a version control system. You would think, what is version control system? So basically, version control system is that thing which help us to manage our project file. Let's say in this hackathon in HackJaipur, you will ask someone from Delhi, Hyderabad to become a part of your team. Okay, you all will form a team from like different states. You all, the team members obviously would not be like at the same place. So whenever you are working on the same project, you will need to see what code the other member is writing. And for that, we need a common place where we can store our code, we can store our entire project. And that is where version control system comes into play, comes into picture. One of the primary thing that Git does is it exists to keep a track of the entire history of things that you are working on. Now GitHub, it is a web-based service, or you can say a social networking site for developers. Here on GitHub we can see anyone's code if it is public, and we can like create issues on those projects. We can make PRs, that is pull request, on those projects as well. So Git and GitHub, it is the most important thing for open source. Without these, open source is obviously not possible. This is the platform that help us to work on same project, like thousands, millions of people are working on a single project. How is it possible? It is possible because of GitHub. Now moving ahead, what is open source? Many of you think, why should I contribute to open source? What is open source? So the official definition of open source is, it refers to something that people can modify and share because its design is publicly accessible. Now what does it mean? Let's say you have a project and you are working on that project, but after some time you want that project to be public. You want other great developers to contribute to that project to make it more better, to add more features to it, and to make it more scalable. So when you make that project its code open for everyone to contribute, then that is called as open source. The next question, very important question, is why, where, and how to contribute to open source. First discuss, who is this for? Who can contribute to open source? So let me tell you, anyone with a passion to write code, or with a passion to make designs, make documentations, work on any open project, can contribute to open source projects. It is not necessary to be a coder, to be a programmer or a developer to contribute to open source. Except coding, there are a lot of things in open source. It does not matter whether you are a school student, you are a college student, or a working professional. Anyone can contribute to open source. It is open for everyone. Now, why should you contribute to open source? What benefit you will get? So the first point is, whenever you want to learn any new skill, any new language or something, if you go and start working on any open source project, then there is a very high chance that you will understand that technology, that skill very fast, because the community support is there. Like when you fork the project, any let's say you were working on Java related projects, you want to learn Flutter, okay, you go and fork any project which was written in Dart and start looking into the code, understanding the code. When you will stuck at any point, there will be a community of 100 and 1,000 of people to help you out. Whenever you will ask any question from the community, from anyone in the community, that okay, how this should happen, or you can simply ask how to get started with Flutter, they will give you a lot of resources. They will tell you, okay, you can start with this simple issue in this project, and they can provide you some resources. So this is the beauty of open source, that you work in a team and many people are working on the same thing, and that motivates and push you to complete that thing, to keep working on that thing. And second, obviously, practice skills. When you are going to work on a project where there are 1,000 lines of code, then obviously you are going to learn a lot. Build portfolio. Obviously it helps in enhancing your portfolio. You can add that, okay, I worked on this open source project of Linux Foundation, of Mozilla, of any open source organization, and that really matters a lot. Volunteerism, yes, open source communities give a lot of opportunity to volunteer for their project, for various competitions, various open source competitions, and give back to the community. Yes, we are using many products nowadays which are open source, right? So if you want to give back to the community, then obviously you can contribute to their open source projects, and that will help them to scale up their project. So this is a way to give back to the community as well. Okay, so you would be thinking, where should I start? Which platform should I use? Which project should I contribute to? And what about communities? These are some common questions that are always in the mind of beginners. I have also been a beginner, so I really can understand that these questions are really very common. Okay, so example of some projects. There are a lot of open source projects. Like if you want to contribute to AnitaB.org, there is a popular project, mentorship system. The maintainer is Isabel Costa. Like she started the project and is really going too good now. And apart from that, there are a lot of open source projects which you can contribute to. The tech stack of each and every project is different. Like in any organization, you can filter out whether you want to contribute to any Dart language project, any Java language, Kotlin, or Android related project, web based project. So there are really a lot of tech stacks on which different organizations work. If you want to see like which organization is working on which tech stack, you can check out in this way. Like you can go to the maybe GSUC website. I mean, that has a lot of organizations, so you can check there. Okay, it has a lot of open source organization, so I am opening this to give you a good idea of how you can check that which organization is working on which project. So it's opening, and so here are the GSUC website. When you will if you will click on organizations, you will see plenty of organizations here. Now if you want to see that okay, this organization, let's say Amai. Okay, you want to see that what is their tech stack, what type of projects they are working on. So these are the tech stacks that they are working on. If let's say you're interested in Android, so you will click on learn more and projects, and then to enter into that community, to talk to people who are there in the community, you can go in the chat section, and it will redirect you to the IRC channel where they discuss things. So there are really a lot of different platforms, like some of the organization use Slack or Gitter for their discussion. Some uses Zleep, Discord, and obviously GitHub is always there where they discuss everything. So if you are going to start working on any open source project, then you should have a good idea that how these platforms work, because mostly these are the way how the teams are connected together. Obviously on any open source project there are a lot of people working every time, like globally, people from different countries, different states, from India, America, from various places, people are working on that. So there should be a common place where they can discuss everything, and these are some common platforms where they discuss things. So these are some points which you should always take care of when you are going to start working on any open source project. You should check, is the project active or inactive? It is always shown, like you can get a good idea of it on checking the repository of that project. I mean, it will be shown there that how many days back the last contribution was made and something like that. For an example, I can show you. Let's open GitHub, and I will show you how you can check this, that how is the project active or not active. So so here is let's say I want to check whether the project, this mentorship Android by AnitaB.org, is that active or not. So I'll click on this, and so here you will see latest comment was on June 13, 2 days ago. So obviously this project is active. You can have a look at other projects of the organization as well. I mean, when you will, let's say you are comfortable to work in Python. Okay, so you clicked Python there, and you will see these many projects are there in Python. It was updated 7 minutes ago, so obviously this project is active, and it was also 6 days ago. So these are when you see last contribution made was recently, so obviously that project is active, otherwise that is not active obviously. So yeah, that is the important thing that you should take care of. And you should always see that how responsive or welcoming the maintainers are. Whenever you ask something, okay, hello XYZ, I want to contribute to your project, can you guide me, how should I go ahead? So if they respond very well, so obviously they are very welcoming, and you should you will obviously feel comfortable at that point of time, right? Are there beginner issues or any other available? Okay, so for this also, how can you check whether the issue that you want to work on is beginner friendly or not? For that, you can simply there are some labels in the issue section. If you will click on labels, you can see here a lot of labels are created. Good first issue, you can click on this, and if any issue is open, beginner friendly issue is open, you can check out that. So this is how, on clicking labels, you can check out whether they have a beginner friendly issue or not. Does the project have a license? So in the readme they provide these things. Does the project have code of conduct? You can check all these things in the README. Obviously, documentation can be checked from README as well, and contribution guidelines as well. So these are example of some communities. I also shown you that you can go ahead and check out on GSUP website. There are a lot of open source organizations there. Mifos is there working on Java and a lot of other languages, Amahi, Wikimedia. So go ahead and try. It doesn't matter if you are not a good developer, not a good coder. There are a lot of other ways also by which you can contribute. Yes, again, be aware of is the community friendly, beginner friendly or not, if they work transparently or not, do they promote open communication? These are the things that you should take care of. These are some of the initiatives, open source initiative, which you can take part in. Although this time, like a few days back, we got this news that Google Kotlin was the last and 10th year in 2019. Now, what can you contribute with? Many people are confused that I am not a good coder. I don't know how to code very well. Can I contribute to open source? My answer is yes, a big yes. You can contribute to open source projects even if you do not have a good knowledge of any programming language. Now, what can you contribute with? You can implement any new feature in the project or fix any bug. Let's say you took part in boss is the competition by coding blocks. So you are working on their Android application, the CB app, and there is any bug in the app, so you can fix that and you can get a bounty for that. Okay, they give you points for that. So apart from that, you can, if you are a good designer, you can create some wireframes that, okay, we can add this feature in the app. Have a look at this. So maintainers will look at it. If it will seem good to them, they will surely approve your pull request. And yes, that's how you can contribute. Solution architect, you can do some research. You can create documentations for that open source project, testing, reporting issues, and obviously in open source you can help others to contribute, or maybe you can review work from other. If anyone make any pull request, you can help in reviewing those pull requests and give feedback to any pull request, to any issue created. And you can also obviously become mentor for open source initiative if you have a good experience in that. And this is a simple thing that you need to do. You have to find a problem and then work on it and submit your work by creating a pull request. This is a common workflow. You have to fork that open source project on which you want to work. Let's say you want to work on, like one of my project was open source for a while for KWOC. It is an open source initiative by IIT Kharagpur. So my project was open source for that. So simply, if you want to contribute to this project, what you will do, you will click on this fork button. On clicking on this fork button, the project will be forked into your account, right? After that, you have to like simply click on this. You have to copy this, and then in the git bash, you have to clone it. You have to write simple command git clone and name and then this URL, and then start working on this project in your Android Studio if this is Android related project, and then commit whatever changes you are making, then push it to the project, and then finally submit the pull request. This is how simple it is to contribute to open source. I am not taking a hands-on session in this webinar because before this also I think Mayank and some other people also taught you basics of Git and GitHub. You can check that out. It was a very good webinar I watched. I mean, it was very simple. They teach you everything how to work with GitHub. If you are a newbie, you can check out that video. I am telling you this workflow, this simple workflow. It is really very, very easy to contribute to open source. Now there are some blockers for beginners, right? Like some people feel that, okay, I'm not confident in technical skills, how should I contribute to open source? Lack of beginner issues in the project, or the project is really very big and I cannot understand the code, time management, and sometimes you feel like how and where to start, or maybe giving up an issue. These are some blockers which a beginner may face. So the solution is confidence comes with time, right? And you can create your own issue as well. If there are some issues you are not comfortable to work with, you can create your own issue as well. If you find a bug in any app, open source app, in any open source web project, you can make an issue that, okay, when I click on this button, it is getting crashed. So that will be an issue, and any experienced person can work on that who is good in coding. You can also do simple documentation which need no knowledge of coding. And you should take baby steps like 1 hour a week or a month, and slowly you can become a good person in open source. I mean, become experienced person in open source. And give notice you will moving on to other issues, and that is okay. Yeah. Now these are some tools and resources which I will suggest for you. Like if you are a person who want to make your first contribution to any open source project, you can check out this. Yeah. And there are some very good blogs on how to contribute to open source projects. I have also written some of the blogs. You can check them out. Everything is in very simple words. Do check opensource.guide. It is really a very simple, very good website blog about open source, and I'm pretty much sure it will help you a lot. Yeah, this is the GitHub student pack. There are a lot of perks of benefits in this. How I started out my open source journey. So if you talk about my journey, like in the starting from my school days, I was like a bookworm. I was like eager to know the cause of everything. In my starting days of college, I was just doing the social things, anchoring co-curricular activities, etc. I started my tech journey very late in second year. I should have started early. Then I started taking part in competition. Finally, about in fifth semester, I got to know about open source. I become yeah. In the second year, I started contributing to various open source projects, and then I got the opportunity to become mentor for one of the open source initiative, Google Kotlin. I was one of the featured mentor at AnitaB.org. And yeah, that is my small journey. And in open source, I recently got a honor, RedHat Open Source Academic Award finalist. It is a global international competition, you could say, and like I was nominated as one of the 4 finalists. So yeah, to take part in such competitions, there is one GitHub repository where there is a list of all open source opportunities. You can obviously check that out. Let me show you. Yes. Yeah, here in my repositories, if you click on open source events, yeah, this was by Catalyst. You could see there is a list of open source initiatives that in January these competitions are organized. In Feb you have these many competitions, right? Red Hat open source contest is also listed here. So you can get to know about various open source programs from this. If you want, I can share the link in the chat section or somewhere. You can see on my GitHub as well, in my repositories. It is by the name Open Source Events. I forked this repository from Catalyst in, yeah. So you can check it out from there. You can also like star this, and yeah. Talking about programs I love doing, really I love taking part in VCI, and my project Vitrify India was open source during COTS program, so it was also a wonderful thing for me. This is Git Memory, Google Connect Social Challenge winner. Yeah, in this one I got like I was shocked that okay, how could I be winner, but it was because of my open source contributions during CS Edu Week. And yeah, I also have been fan of hackathons. I have taken part in various hackathons, and really that's why I'm so much excited for all of you. Go ahead, build cool solutions, cool products, and really you are going to learn a lot. I mean, yeah. So if you want to connect me, you can find me on Twitter, Saumya1Singh @ Saumya1Singh, on LinkedIn by Saumya Singh, and on GitHub Saumya Singh 1. So that was all about this session. I hope you got a clear idea of this thing that open source is for everyone, and GitHub, I am sure that you would be comfortable to work with GitHub. Mayank and other people have given you hands-on session on that. So all the very best for the hackathon. Build exciting products, and we as a team will be always there to help you all. All the very best. Thank you very much for watching.